I think it has to do with this. I think we're gonna present that to him right here.
Objection.
You claim, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Miss Beat, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection.
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of the meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs. Meager? Uh-oh. You're gonna piss her off.
Objection.
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belonged to me, has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Miss Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garadeb's book. Mr. Garadeb's copy of the Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Miss Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street, but in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them. Susato, take down into the gutter, indeed. Chuck the prosecutor into the gutter? What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong.
Don't listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Withering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking. That's what it is.
Oh good, Miss Garadeb's coming round. You might call it nitpicking, Miss Garadeb, but deliberately meddling with a crime scene is a criminal offense. It's called, tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection.
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. It's Mrs. Garadeb.
Take that!
Sorry, my lord. I was just taking a moment to get things straight in my mind. Where'd I reload? But yeah, he needs a Susato takedown into the gutter. I agree. It's obviously not these two. It's obviously not you. It's obviously not you. It's obviously not you. It's obviously not you. It's not Olive. It's not Barack Von Zeeks. It's either John Garadeb, Rolly Beat, or Patricia Beat. And I think it's...
Take that! Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you! What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense! Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. I mean, yeah? No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to the nearby police box and fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Miss Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well...
Objection!
First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with, but there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime to hide something. That's right, he's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It just doesn't make sense. You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. Until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. I have very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to the entire affair. Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery? Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for the alleged tampering. Okay, aka, hey, it's time to save. Yes, my lord. For tampering with the crime scene was to hide. It's obviously where the victim fell. It's not where the book or the... Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here. As if anyone did already know. That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. What? What? I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Take that!
That's on the opposite side of the road? I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garadeb's book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Miss Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place. That's right, I saw it with my own eyes. It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid. And that was actually on the west side of Briar Road. No, that's not true. It can't have been. Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in the print. The victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing. What? What did he overlook? The bouquet, I presume. Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Von Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. Yes, it couldn't have been seen in the dark, obviously, which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Rolly Beat? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again. I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Rolly. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything explode. Only it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Order! What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, Rolly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it? Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say, sir. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation. For everything. I have a possible explanation. For why on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman? And yet Lord Von Zieks is the foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. Human emotions are the same. I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. It's gotta be this. I don't think it's this. It's not the map. It's not the book report. Okay. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the knife. It's not the book. And I don't think it's the bouquet.
Take that!
I realize I'm a foreigner in this land. I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on the beat is in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh yes, it was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife. I was looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal, when he and Miss Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw the shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of him, what must have gone through the man's mind? But son, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Miss Beat puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that, or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it? It was all to do with the boundary of your beat? Oh. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done? It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Uh-oh. Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Meerstrom Street, and then... Oh, man. What a jerk. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, Rolly. Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. Shame, indeed. He's feeling that intense shame. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left that poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. Ah, I see your meaning now. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh no, Rolly. That was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. And can you tell us, Constable? How many books did you move from one side of the road to the other in total? Oh, 4 it was. Yeah. Yes, definitely 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Gerdub household, of course. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean. Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. book's information has been updated. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the two people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zieks? I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir! Mr. Prosecutor, sir? What will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him? For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. All right then, my love. One last thing, Constable. Sir? Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again, sir. You mean to say? Leave. Now. This trial's not yet over. Sir! Uh-oh. It's not over yet. Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is the only person who could possibly have committed this crime.
Objection!
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of the possibility already. Lord Von Zieks, is this true? Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objection to trial continuing. You will name this other person who could have perpetrated the crime. We know who it is already. It's Miss Garadab.
Take that!
Defense would once again like to request a cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garadab.
Me? Me? Oh, dearie me.
Objection!
That request had already been denied.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garadab, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little turd?
At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garadab. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks over Briar Road.
Well, what of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top hinge casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Yes, and as I said, what of it?
During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garridab. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before?
Oh! I don't recall it.
Seriously?
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there in all that regalia said the members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he?
Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4.
Oh?
Make no mistake. You jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madame, let the truth come out.
But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know?
What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying? Please, Miss Garridab. Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it.
Oh, the poor woman.
So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see the hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife, if that's what you think. Come along now. Chop chop, do your worst.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror.
Oh?
The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks.
I'm going to have to testify?
She says that after throwing flaming books and a knife at her husband. True. Juror number 4. As I'm sure you well appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witness themselves may not even have been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Miss Garridab. Mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. Hell yeah. We are rolling. Such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Oh, yes, my name is Joan Garridab, and I'm a juror and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madame?
Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh, dearie me.
Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now. Oh, I didn't know you were
here, John.
Wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you?
But what about your knee, dear?
Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you are Mr. John Garrideb? Yes, sir. Former 2nd Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life, where you're not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Well, yes, quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will now recount clearly and concisely, the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once. The Battle of Garrideb. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could to find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd noticed if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that belly thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think. Sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat to whisker away from death at any moment. Oh my god. Holy shit. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Zieks may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination. The Battle of Garrideb, by the way. The Battle of Garrideb.
Hold it!
The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrideb. A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garrideb found the note discovering her husband's little secret. And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too. What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway.
A likely story.
These waters run very deep. And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face? Alright.
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine really. Just so happens there was some bath water around There was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious situation you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from public water pump during the day if you need any, you see.
The lodgers are always moaning that they that they can't get any water at night. Although, that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen the state of the man? I believe he uses all of his income to buy books. Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Hold it!
Even though the room was on fire.
As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw.
That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo. How did she know I was thinking that? So please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, and a napkin.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Gerdem. Don't shoot! Ah, sorry, I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch. And a woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit with that. Ah! Good grief, woman! We're not at home now. This is court of law.
Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing with a teapot in here?
Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, Your pipes, sir. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did, yes? When I went to pick the thing up, it was broken into. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see, your pipe was broken. Would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I managed to bandage the thing up for now.
You're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
I wonder what we should make of this account. Defense believes Mr. Gyardeb's remarks just now to be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife and pipes, as well as the hearts, may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worth of adding to the formal testimony. In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not.
Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
Oh, God. Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down. Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Susato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. You should examine it carefully. Can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there. Yeah, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a good shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. Tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be. Looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me. Like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garredeb's dressing gown. I suppose it must be considerable some amount of value to Mr. Garredeb, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this. Either that or he can't afford to replace it. There's small nick out of the bowl here. Look, it appears to have been made relatively recently. And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it? It's clearly a well-loved pipe. Yeah, you're right. Seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. Because it's clearly new. Okay, we did everything on that. Okay.
Hold it!
Sorry, would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a spot to a spot of carving, you see, pipes and whatnot. Fishing tackle, you know, that sort of thing.
It's a pleasure we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leather work.
Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place. We have dozens of the things.
They sell them at the market sometimes. 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snapped them up. John prefers to use the two knives at meal times too, instead of a knife and fork.
Now, Joan, we don't want people thinking I'm some kind of— oh, God, oh, Lord! Here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so evasive? Imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Sir!
Hold it!
But so you have no intention of admitting it was your knife, unless we can produce proof? Even though there's no other credible possibility of Mr. Natsume is innocent?
Objection!
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack. As if I could forget. Only there were some way to know who handled the knife. I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream. Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo. What? You mean that it's not a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists? Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, so they say. But I can't see anything. There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice. Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation. But for now, we shall have to find another alternative method of proving our assertion that this knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Garredeb's house. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? We've heard all this before, to be honest. Can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new. But it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident. Yes, I know. I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. For that was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury. If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support the theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything. A tiny shred of evidence, huh? I have a tiny shred. We must find that. All right, here we go. Let's hit him with the evidence.
Objection.
Okay. Okay, I was... Oh, never mind. Soccer. Mr. Careteb. You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing. You can't? You used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time ago now. Even when I was trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Oh, he does. Dear me. It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word.
You must be very doozy. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear to be at first made to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Careteb's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how it got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it's some way related to the mayor's stabbing on Briar Road? I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. You appear rather confident in your extraordinary statements, Counsel. Very well then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. I mean, I know what it is, but I'm gonna save anyway.
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there's a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. Common issue where the inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is a very fragment of metal discovered at the chamber of Mr. Careteb's pipe. Good grief! Lord Von Zeeks! I I don't believe it! The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match! Good golly gosh! Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So Van Zieks has figured it out, has he? Counsel, explain the extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garredeb's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in most recent witness testimony. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did, yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh, dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garredeb flung this knife at her husband. This is Sparta, indeed. Indeed, there's soccer. However, the knife missed Mr. Garredeb, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord. Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garredeb's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1. And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out the open window. Ah! In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garredeb's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below.
Oh gosh! Oh dear! Oh! No!
Objection!
Uh-oh. A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it's just a theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, it's spoiled by an insurmountable inconsistency. Insurmountable? What? Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself. What's the inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Ah.
That's right, you silly little man!
Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let's consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and fallen to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there's no possible way it could have planted itself in the victim's back. What if she just fell over in the snow and fell forward?
Quite right, you see. That's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head.
Well, he's lost for words. Look, I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place. I don't know, though. What really did happen? It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand. Miss Susato? You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. Your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection.
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of the back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel? There's a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. It can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness. Utter madness. Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. Oh God. Final piece in the puzzle. Okay. Oh! 15 stream streak! Hype there, Bjarn! Morning! I found the fragment of metal. Knew it was odd they didn't remove it, right? Yep. And 15 stream streak, hype! Appreciate the support there, Bjarn. It's not this. It's not that. It's not the map. It's not that. Not that. Is it the pipe? It's not this. either the pipe or this photo. I don't think it's the knife itself. I don't think it's the knife itself. You know that that's there. I think it's this photo. Because it's not the book. It's not this. It's not the bouquet. That wouldn't explain how I think it's obviously in this photo.
Take that!
The answer appeared to make Mr. Garrett rather lightheaded. But Mrs. Garrett didn't bat an eyelid. They may strike at any time. Delete all my social media except in Twitch today? Damn there, Bjarn. Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Social media. Social media is sometimes really annoying to deal with. I won't lie. I pirated YouTube so I don't have shorts anymore, right? Now what you want to hear from the Reaper? Oh, she was going to pick up the book. Okay. I think. Yeah, she was going to lean over and pick up the book. I have long form videos, but not shorts or reels or short form content anymore. Yeah.
Take that!
This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The burnt book? Is that not Mr. Garredab's book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the casino in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and victim holding it in her hand. But as we all know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so, as part of his wholesale transporting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. That wouldn't explain the pipe. Well, what made you place the book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of their own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have done much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By Jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
Oh, dearie me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Gerdeb household onto the pavement below. And precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in a light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book I threw?
Yes, Mrs. Gerdeb. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked up the book.
The voices are always so fun. Oh yeah. Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick up the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? So it was raining knives on this poor woman. That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, oh God! The next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at the same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Well, I never! It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above.
Ah!
Raining knives is something new, never seen it, but a couple 100 years ago, anything could happen? Yep, true. It was, I mean, to be fair, in ancient times, when people were raiding old forts and stuff, they would pour boiling stuff on the people coming up the ladders and shit. I would assume, like boiling. And I think like the ancient Egyptians, for one of their methods of doing stuff would pour molten gold down. Yeah, hot tar. That's exactly what I was thinking. From the other direction, the ancient Egyptians used to pour like molten gold or something like down people's throats and shit. So, I mean, raining knives would not be out of the ordinary. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind the case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Gerdeb? That's got hurt. Oh yeah.
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
There, old bean. Poor Mrs. Gerdeb.
Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book. I threw the knife as well.
Sounds like a fantasy book, to be honest. Oh yeah.
John, dear.
It's all right. I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry.
Oh God, she went down. Oh God. He's going to collapse! And he did. Didn't know old ladies could throw that far. True. I mean, Lord Van Zeeks, what news of Miss Gardeb? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There's no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There's some good news, however, my lord. I have just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her. How wonderful. The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Yes? On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now. Life trauma can be fixed by a sorry. But I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. This game is kind of bullshit sometimes. It's a game. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. The fog spirits? See, life trauma, yeah. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I'm truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Von Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east. What is this, guilt tripping? That chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh! Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask you one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of the jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in for old Bean while she's out of action, you know, but I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Boom. Very well, Mr. Soseki Natsume. I hereby pronounce you not guilty. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh yes, Lord Sir. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you'll continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never let set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Next case is the final one, right? Indeed. Thank you, consuls. Court is adjourned. Indeed, the next case is the final case of the game, I'm assuming. It says it's the final one, so. Oh, Locum! Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another Locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with us using my actual name? Oh, at last! I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant, jubilation! What year is this set? It's, I think in the 1880s or 1890s. Heady, hearty happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard to just say it then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink! Oh, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. Has he met Arthur Morgan? Probably not. But, I mean, we are in Great Britain right now, so probably not. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that! Lovely, loyal, Locum lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me laughing. Look at that little hunchback. Maybe you visit America? Possible. Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you Locum lawyer gave me my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. And an anecdote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. Oh, there we go. Bro, shut up already. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh? The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo. I wish you the very best of luck. It just finished. What? No! Then my haste was in vain! Arrgh! It's It's you! Hairlock Sholmes! Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsume. Man, you arrested, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters had taken place in gloom. Either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. Oh my god, Sholmes. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. This is all your fault, Hairlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Huh? Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh? But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Threatening someone who can arrest you in the courtroom is not one of the best ideas. True. True. He's like, yo, I'm gonna attack you, and gets immediately arrested and thrown back in jail. That would be a wonderful waste of time. Priceless. Oh, I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless. Per Soseki-san. Still on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper! Ah, Lord Von Zeeks. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed! It will be alright, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! Oh god! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown! Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan. Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh? It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city it has shaped. I've come to realize that it's my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world and escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Soseki-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Miss Susato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? What about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot? Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we have finally found our feet. You are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls. By the way, what did the old lady throw? Why did the old lady throw the book and the knife? The old lady threw the book and the knife because she thought her husband was getting love notes from a woman, but it was actually just a bookmark left in a book that the guy bought. And she's assumed the worst and started throwing a fit and threw everything at him, including a book and a knife at him. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Old people just suck, right? Oh yes. Try to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. We'll think about it, if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer you a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Well, it's up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it's just it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price. Now Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, that is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to take in lodgings in the great detective's office's attic. I'm too overcome for words. So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes. Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Locum. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yeah, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. We're just gonna leave Susato. I've little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, with Soseki-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. The attic room. So this is to be our new office, yes. Our office? I rather like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Cosma. It's only a small step, but I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Ah, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. Hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid! Sholmes is kinda hot. Yeah, Sholmes is, hell yeah. Sholmes has got the looks for sure. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered a dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry? London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London. Like his model's made to be hot, but still, right? They made him perfect. We'll just put it that way. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. End of this case. And see, here we are. It is right here. Episode 5. The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes
That was
glowed with a
episode
smoldering
1.
glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical hound of the Baskervilles."
Seems like this is the last case there, guys. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country, and in Soseki-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. However, there came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court, which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. Diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles sounds something straight from Harry Potter. Ah. Yep. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Damn, 2 months without anything? Yeah. Susato-san? Yes? Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today? I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment, am I? Oh, no, of course not. How silly of me. I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite? Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food. She does, doesn't she? Once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today? Here we go again. All right. Wait, who was acting strange? I think it's Susato-san right here. Let's ask about the telegram. So what was that about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean. Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, sorry, but you're not going to get away with that. Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. Ahem. It was just a boring old telegram. That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing. I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point. Alright, I understand. So Seki-san, yeah, very defensive. I suppose Seki-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he? Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or just be a few days away. A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness? But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well. Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? I was just wondering, what might have become of Soseki-san had he stayed in London, that's all. You mean, as regards the Lord Von Zeeks, the Reaper? Yes, I can't help wondering if seasickness would have paled in insignificance in that case. Let's talk about the Reaper. Her dad got killed, I'm calling it. Oh geez. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way the nightmarish trial ended at the very day we arrived in London. Even 2 months on, the case of that dreadful fire is still a mystery. Yeah, but at least Soseki-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably that means that the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps. Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding. If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields a sword of justice himself. Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants. No, I don't think so. Apparently Lord Von Zeeks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter. Oh? Yes, since Soseki-san's trial. He's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems. Really? Just like before, when he wasn't in court for all those several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Oh, just my luck. Wonder if luck doesn't come into it. Sorry, what was that? Oh, nothing. Never mind. Okay. Let's go down here. 15th of April, Sholmes' suite. Morning, Runa. Morning, Susie. Good morning, Iris. Iris? What is it, Runo? What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled. Yes, you noticed that, did you? Hey, oh, hey! Hey there, Sholmes. How you doing, buddy? Hurley is in the best form this morning, it seems. Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? Good morning. A good morning to die, perhaps. What? Sholmes? You stop that. Or the guy on the boat got killed? Yeah. Not best mood. Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead. Damn this blanched existence. That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate some dry toast and insipid coffee for me if it's not too much trouble? Seems kind of depressed, yeah. Oh look, it's Wagahai. Good morning, boy. That must be some sort of tiny door for the cats to use. But how did it get there? Aw, kitty, indeed. Well then, everyone, time for breakfast. Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris. It would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. Oh no! Sholmes! What's the matter with you, buddy? You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melodic tones would make flowers bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I have bowed, for days even. Through the night I have endeavored, to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever. No more recitals of unbridled emotion! Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley? Don't worry. I'm sure it'll come back. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Heed my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man. The next day unmercifully withdraw it. Oh dear. Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left, for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for? You have a missing machine person. Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Ah, well done, Miss Susato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh no, Mr. Sholmes, they pale in insignificance when compared to yours. You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you? You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Windibank's now. Sorry, it's at Windy Bank? No, Windibank's, the pawnbrokery. Pawn? What? You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly. But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you. Dear Madame, things are far from desperate. But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate? Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure. Making use of a pawnbroker is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. It is? Doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh? What's to understand exactly? How pawnbroking works? What did you mean that when you said you didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks. Banks? On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week. And then on Saturdays, they go and recover the things using the money they've earned. I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us. Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London. And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise. Oh, how ingenious. So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at window banks, you see. A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain? Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley? What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Oh no. Well, I think this is where we're going to end for tonight. With a very distraught Herlock Sholmes. But hell yeah, we're gonna start. Yakuza taught me that pawn shops are where you sell plates. True. True. True there, GF Rex. But it's that time of the night. So thank you to GF Rex. Thank you to Bjarn. Thank you to Soccer. And everyone, and Brittle as well. Thank you to everyone that hung out tonight. Always appreciate you guys. Next week, I think we'll finish up episode 5 and beat the game possibly next week. So next stream is going to be Saturday. We're going to play either The Sims or wrestling on that day. And I will see you guys then. Bye.